Welcome to Guitarworks. I'm Rick, and today we're going to be restringing a Floyd Rose style bridge. Today we're going to be restringing this Schecter Hellraiser Special. It's got the Floyd style bridge, EMG pickups, and we're going to be using these Ernie Ball skinny top, heavy bottom, custom gauge strings. If you're soloing, you can still get a lot of that play from bending, but still have the thick, heavy top, so you get a deep tone out of the lower end. All right, we're going to start on the high E string and work our way back. We're going to do this one string at a time. That way it doesn't mess with the setup of your guitar. If you take them all off, you risk losing your setup and making the action too high or too low, causing buzzing. But this method will get you your strings on without changing any of your setup at all. The first thing we're going to do is get our wrench. So it's going to be metric. All Floyd Roses always come metric. It's a 2.5 millimeter right there. So there's 3 locks up on the nut. We're going to do one at a time. So I'm going to unlock the first nut. That's going to unlock the E and B string. I'm just going to give it like a full turn like that. Now we're going to loosen the E. Okay, and now I'm going to take the string off. So I cut up at the nut end so I didn't scratch the face of the headstock. And then I pull the string out from underneath the lock nut, which is loosened. And now we're going to unlock it at the saddle. So you just go behind the saddle. And then we loosen it. And you usually have to give it a couple of turns. Remove the string. Just give it a pull. I like to wrap them up, get them out of my way so they don't poke me in the eye. Get these opened up. And these, you do not need the ball end. All you really need is to cut the ball end off like that. Take the string and put it between the saddle block and the front of the bridge saddle itself, and then tighten it in. You'll feel it go all the way to the bottom. You don't need to go any farther than that. After you get it tightened in on the saddle, take the other end, run it underneath the nut lock, and make sure you get underneath the string tree right there. Pull it tight. Put it into the tuner. All right, so after you got the string locked in at the bridge and then through the tuner, what you're going to want to do is, I like to have 3 wraps on my light end strings, 2 wraps on my heavier gauge strings. So how I do this is I take the string, I take my hand, I put it on around the 9th fret. I put my thumb up in the air and I give it that much slack. So right there is going to give me about 3 wraps. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hand wrap the first one. I put the first wrap over the top of the excess of the string. So I'm going to put the rest of the wraps underneath that excess. That locks it into the tuner and keeps the string from slipping. So first thing I'm going to do is I just use my hands, hold the string down, and wrap it underneath the first wrap so the excess is between the two. You get the first wrap over the top of the excess and your second wrap started underneath the excess. Then you grab your tuner and start winding. So after you got it tightened up, you want to make sure your winds are all underneath each other and look laid flat. You don't want them wrapped all over each other, then you'll have tuning issues and then it's not fun to play. We're going to cut off the excess string. You just want to make sure you leave just a little hook. All right, so now we're going to tune the string. It's going to go to E. And right there, that's the first string. So now, let's do the second one. Do you want to do the fast thing like we did the last one? So when I come to the wound strings, the thicker gauge, when I use my hand, I start a little lower. I go still at the ninth, but I take my thumb instead of all the way up as high as I can get it, take it down to against my hand. That's due to the thickness of the string causing it to be bigger on the tuner, so you need less wraps. Or you'll just be winding over itself. Okay, so after you got all your strings put on and tuned to pitch, the next thing you're going to want to do is make sure all of your fine tuners are about halfway between tight and loose all the way. That way you have, when you tighten down at the nut, you have enough play between the two to get you back in tune again. Because after you tighten here, they usually go a bit sharp. So this one is all set. They're nice level across. So what we're going to do now is tighten up at the nut. So now that we're tightened up at the nut, now we're going to check the tuning again to see where we're at. And it looks like it's a bit sharp. All right, now we got her all tuned up. And that's it. She's ready to play. All right, well, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button below for more tips and tricks on guitar repair and maintenance. Now get the fuck out of here.